doing our normal job within the civil service agency, I received a call from Dominique Goska of the FBA. And that was several years ago. And she said, I'm from the FBA, and we're interested in assisting Liberia with capacity building programs. And if you're interested, we need to have further discussions. And we never regretted having those discussions. So the first collaboration with the FBA started in Mangibi County, what we call all of the national security officers, to train them on a particular topic that the FBA found necessary for us to improve the public service, and that's the rule of law. So we gathered those national security officers from all of the counties and then decided to explain to them the rule of law, and for the first time we all heard about the principles associated with the rule of law. That was followed by another capacity building training that the principal administrative officer, Mr. Alfred Drose, participated in. The principal administrative officer for us is like the most senior person in the civil service, like the permanent officers in other countries. So he assisted Dominique and the FBA, again, this time with superintendents from those counties in the training on the rule of law. That was also followed by a training on all of the senior officers of the civil service. All of the senior officers, that means from the Director General, Deputy Director Generals, and the directors of the senior officers of the civil service, all participated in that rule of law training. Then we also invited at another date appointees of government. The reason behind this was because we wanted for the appointees or the heads of the agencies to understand what the rule of law meant, so that when we begin to engage the lower level staff, they will all be in sync with what we intend to give in terms of the rule of law. Another thing to mention with this partnership is the establishment of the Civil Service Training Center for the first time in Liberia. Civil servants always ask, we want training, and LIPA was the only place to go. And then the Director General said, we need to expand this. We need to give additional access to civil servants to get trainings that they want. So we established internally the Civil Service Training Center. And the Folke Bernadotte Academy was our first partner and continued to be so. So much so that every training that goes on in the Civil Service Training Center, you must have as an aligning team the rule of law. So if you train somebody on electricity, an attendant training must be on the rule of law. How he applies whatever he learns is what you're going to get from the ROL training. So we are so highly appreciative of this collaboration. And this collaboration now has reached to this point where we are about to sign an MOU that will establish properly this relationship and how we will go forward. So we would like to thank the FBA, for this collaboration, for this partnership. It has assisted civil servants so much. So without further ado, can we welcome the Director General of the Civil Service Agency to give welcome.
Yes. Thank you very much. We're, we've always had Pa and the rest of them with us. Today we're privileged to have the ambassador himself, and thanks for coming. And it adds a lot of significance to what we're trying to do here. We are very excited, like Claudia said, about this collaboration that we have. We've discussed on several occasions how we can expand it, what new areas we can look at. This MOU provides, some of that basis for the conversations that we need to have around where this relationship can go. But we're very impressed with what has happened so far. And let me not, go over what Claude just did. Let me stick to welcoming you. Thank you for coming. Welcome to the CSA. This is where we are. I think later we probably can show you, some of what we do here at the Civil Service Training Center thing that we started. Because obviously the ambassador is here. We need to show him the Civil Service Training Center. Yes.
I'm not alone.
So welcome to the CSA. Thank you very much, and thanks for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, DG. So far, we'll explain more about the MOU to us.
Thank you so much, and thank you for this warm welcome and for arranging this fantastic event. It's highly appreciated. First of all, I got warm regards from my Director General and our Head of Department back home in Sweden. I'm sorry that I couldn't be here, but I know that my Director General is very much looking forward to visiting Liberia for the first time. Hopefully that will happen soon. I'm pushing for that as well, and absolutely he will. I'm looking forward to a chance to introduce him to CSA and all of you. He will like that. And start with saying congratulations to the very well managed election process. I know that you are not the NEC, but we all know that civil servants in any country have a crucial role to play whenever there is an electoral process. So I'm totally convinced that the work that the CSA has been doing over the years with capacity building and recruitment of public servants has had a crucial role to play also in the well-managed electoral process. We at the Folke Academy, we were lucky to be assigned a few years back by the Swedish government to work with Liberia and with a specific focus on strengthening the rule of law principles and sustainable peace. And we were exceptionally lucky when we learned that there was such an agency like CSA that we could cooperate with. And as you very well described, Claudius, that's what Dominic has told me as well. It's some 10 years back, we started with you two meeting each other, and we have got to know each other along the way more intensely during the last few years. And we have got to know you as an impressing force for promoting rule of law principles and professional ethics within public service among civil servants. And we really have since some time felt that we share many values, we share the convictions that for an effective government, for development of the country, for the promotion of good governance, democracy, rule of law, and also in the long term for sustainable peace, having civil servants and the public administration that is aware about rule of law principles, has the capacity to apply them in their daily work, and in addition being so engaged and involved in actually carrying out this important task is quite amazing. So for us, it's a privilege to be able to link up with you like a partner, sister organization, sharing the same convictions and values, and to work with you for in developing Liberia. And in addition to just the conviction and the knowledge you have about rule of law, we hear when you talk about this, Claudius, that you have an impressive dedication and a personal desire to promote these values, and special thanks to you, Mr. Director General. We know what role you have played through the years at the CSA in personally dedicating time and efforts to promote rule of law and to convince and to share your sentiment of the importance for the public sector. So we are especially happy to be able to support the work you're doing, and the idea that you have, and that Claudius explained, developing a training modules that could be used all through public sector in Liberia in order to promote the awareness and knowledge and capacity to include rule of law principles within the daily work. We find that an amazing idea and totally in line with what FBA wants to work with. And the fact that you are not only concentrating on working here within your excellent civil society training center in Monrovia, but also trying to reach out to the country is also an aspect of your work that we very much appreciate, so we don't get all get stuck in Monrovia, the people who live and work here. And I had the privilege of visiting your regional office and Mr. Francis in Tupperburg together with Nils earlier this year, and that was nice to see, and I look forward to continue working with you and supporting your work and efforts in reaching out to all public servants in the country. It's a great, phenomenal ambition, and we'll see how long we can get, but it's a fantastic idea and an honor for us to be able to support this. We also very much appreciate your openness and your desire to work with the civil society in Liberia and to include them in your work and to work together and to really, I mean, that participation is one of the rule of law principles that you really not only say you believe in, but actually show in your daily work that you are applying these principles. You want to reach out to civil society, work together, because you see that it's how you should work in order to reach your goals. And we're also happy that you want to reach out and re-establish your links with your brothers and sisters in Accra, Ghana, at the Civil Service Training Center in Accra. And all of these aspects and ambitions of your work, we fully agree with and want to cooperate with you to the extent you need any support, and to the extent that we can facilitate anything, we're happy to work with you. And the MOU is very much a manifestation of this shared values, shared ambitions, shared understanding of what needs to be done to develop the country for the well-being of the citizens. But it's not only a manifestation. I do think that it will actually facilitate our work and make it more fluent and more effective. So I will not say too much about anything really about the details of the MOU, because it's a framework establishing that we share these values, we want to work with training issues, and it opens up for other activities that we may find along the way that we should cooperate with. So it's quite an openly written MOU that gives us a chance to work together in the areas we find of mutual interest. So for me, it's an honor to represent FBA on this important occasion, and as we are about to sign the MOU, I do have a small, very small, but anyhow little gift for Mr. Director General. It happens to be a Folke Bernadotte. It's a pen that says the inscription "In Place of Arms," yes, which is the title of the last book that Count Folke Bernadotte, who gave name to our agency, he wrote in finished the book in 1948, shortly before he was assassinated, in his work as the first UN mediator in Israel-Palestine. So I hope you can accept that, and it can be useful in your work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Does it work? Yeah.
Thanks so much, Bob. So with the new pen boss, we could now begin the signing.
Done. Halfway.
Halfway, yes.
Halfway.
Yeah, sorry to keep you waiting. It must be boring.
No,
Watch us.
It's very
sign.
exciting to see if you will manage.
Signed.
Yes.
No, yes.
So thank you so much.
Yeah.
So with the signing done, we'll allow our guests, the ambassador, to make a few remarks. Yes.
Good to do it here?
Wherever you come
Well, thank you very, very much, and congratulations to both CSA and FBA for this historic memorandum of understanding. It's wonderful to see two sister organizations coming together like this. So, Director General and staff, it's a privilege for me to be here with you together with FBA. And I will not be long, but I just want to say that Sweden and Liberia have a long history together. Maybe you remember Lamco. Sweden was a very big investor into Lamco, and we had over 10,000 Swedes coming here to work with the mine in Yekepa. During the Civil War, Sweden was very much engaged in the peacekeeping mission, and we have since 2005 been engaging in development cooperation, and we are so impressed by Liberia's sustaining peace process. We are also very impressed by the recent elections. You have set an example in the region and in the world. You should really be commended. You are commended for these elections. And Sweden is a long-term partner with Liberia. We are actually the second largest bilateral donor to Liberia after the US, so we are strong also together with the EU. And we regard this collaboration as a very wonderful example of how sister organizations can come together, because you're right, the rule of law is the foundation for everything. That is what is needed for society, for democratic governance. And what is also important is that we, as civil servants, are also key to work based on the rule of law, guided by the political leaders, but in line with the laws of the country. So I think that is really, really key, and I'm so glad to see that you have come together, you are working on this, because that will indeed be a foundation for the development we'd like to see in Liberia. So thank you very much for that. I am looking forward to come back and maybe be part of trainings. So please regard me also as a friend who can be invited, and I have much to learn as well. And I look forward to see this cooperation. Now we have it on paper, as a foundation, but let's keep on in the coming period. Thanks for this. I think, however, I also need to send my sincere condolences. The event yesterday was very tragic. We have you in our thoughts, and we're looking forward to get further information. But it's a very tragic event, and we want to send our condolences. But back to this agreement, congratulations both. Looking forward to this cooperation.
Thank you. So that's it. That ends the ceremony for today. Thank you, Mr. Ambassador.
Very good, short and sharp. That's really, really
Thank you for finding the time.
Of course, of course.
We have some time.